Today on Hawaii Literacy's Adult Literacy YouTube channel, we are talking about the coronavirus, the flu, and the cold, and some of the ways that they present similarly and some of the ways that they are different. As cold and flu season are just beginning, it's more important than ever to stay safe and stay healthy. Now, a big question people are asking is, how do I know if I have a cold, flu, COVID? And the answer is, it's not easy. In fact, these three viruses have a lot of things in common. For instance, all three of them are respiratory illnesses, meaning they all affect your lungs and your breathing passages. Now, all three are also spread from person to person through coughing, sneezing, or may be spread by touching something with the virus on it, and then touching your mouth, your nose, and your eyes. And they can also have very similar symptoms, like a runny nose, a headache, body aches, tired, fever, chill, cough, sore throat. So it's understandable that people would be overwhelmed or confused because they can have similar symptoms. But there are a couple differences to be aware of that might help you figure out which type of virus you have. So with coronavirus, it can present in a lot of different ways, but some unique symptoms of it are shortness of breath, loss of taste and smell, and a new dry cough. These are symptoms that if you develop them and you've never had them before, there's a good chance you might have COVID and you should probably get tested. Another thing is that COVID is more contagious than the flu and the cold, meaning it spreads from one person to another quicker. And the other thing with COVID is that you can be asymptomatic, meaning you have no symptoms, or symptomatic, meaning you have symptoms. So now let's talk about the cold. Now, if you find yourself just sneezing or you have a runny nose, but no other real symptoms, this is usually a sign that it's just a cold and not COVID or the flu. But again, the only way to tell for sure is to get tested. Now let's get into the flu. So the big difference with flu versus COVID is that it'll hit you like a ton of bricks, meaning usually it has a sudden onset, whereas COVID can take maybe 3 to 14 days to show symptoms. Flu is only around 2. Another really important difference is that there is a vaccine or a shot for the flu. And this season's flu shot is more important than ever. In fact, experts say having the flu shot makes it much less likely that you will be hospitalized or die. The flu shot won't prevent COVID, but it will minimize or reduce your chances of getting the flu. And the reason this is so important right now is our doctors and our nurses and hospitals have been overwhelmed with COVID. And anything we can do to reduce the strain on them or the burden, we should be doing. Now, like I've said, since many of the symptoms are similar across all three viruses, the only real way to test or to know which one you have is to get a COVID test. But I want to say that there are a lot of things that you can do to help protect yourself and your family, and that will help keep you safe and healthy for all three viruses. That means if you start feeling sick or you're getting symptoms, stay home, call your doctor, do a video conference with him. Also, it means mask up. If you're outside or in a place where you can't socially distance from people, wear your mask. Remember to stay 6 feet away from people outside or inside, just socially distance. And always lather up and rinse your hands with soap or antibacterial soap or hand sanitizer. And finally, just roll up your sleeves and get your annual flu vaccine. And just remember, we're all in this together. Now in the video description, I'm including a link to this website which will show you different locations where you can get tested and get a flu vaccine. So it lists the name of the pharmacy, it lists the hours, lists where it's located, and then it'll tell you the number to call if you want to make an appointment. Thanks, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.